Summerset Isles. Summerset Isles are an archipelago in the southwest of Tamriel. The name encompasses many islands that constitute the archipelago, but we will focus on the largest two, Summerset and Oregon. Smaller from the two, Oregon is quite uniform in its landscape. Jagged coastline, lined with cliffs in the north, through promontories in the mid-part, and soft, wide beaches in the southern regions. The land itself is uneven, full of escarpments, hills and gorges, which give way to tall, white granite mountains further inland. The entirety of island can be described in one word: lush. Forests stretch as far as I can see, from one coast to the other. Most common are maple, larch and laurel. Only the plentiful meadows give break to the trees covering the land. Bears, boars and wolves prowl the woods, but they are of least concern. Imps are common in central Oregon, and giant spiders have been encountered all over the island. Oregon holds two significant cities, First Hold and Skywatch. First Hold's name comes from the history, as it was the first city the Aldmer built after arriving on the island. Situated in the northern coast of Ardon, it is known as the origin point of the Mages Guild. It is also in First Hold where you can visit the Great Orrery, built in ancient times by the Aldmer themselves, an impressive monument to science and the study of celestial bodies. The central part of Oregon hosts the city of Skywatch, a large city populated by many influential Aldmer, who from their sprawling manors with tall spires trade, deal and make agreements on import and export of goods. Oregon is situated between Summerset and the mainland Tamriel, so nearly all goods making their way to Summerset do so through Oregon. Skywatch sees the lion's share of that. Past the Oregon Strait lies the island of Summerset. Its climate is quite identical to that of Oregon, warm, pleasant, although not so densely forested. Cherry trees, ginkgo, mangroves are abundant, as well as the sweetly scented wisteria. Craggy mountains rise in the central areas of the isle. However, it is split across by the Diran Valley, which connects the west and the east coasts. Probably the most captivating feature of the land are its beaches. Pale sand can be found in many corners of the world, but the enormous coral structures jutting out of the sand are truly unique. Interestingly, those coral formations can be found deep into the island, away from the sea, suggesting that once upon a time Summerset was submerged. Among many animals roaming these lands, the griffon and the indrink are the most magnificent. Griffons are large, quadrupedal, eagle-like creatures that like nesting in high mountains. Predatory, it is not too fussy of a hunter and will not hesitate to pounce on men or mer. Indrics, on the other hand, are wary and elusive beasts of the wild. Having 4 ears allows it to escape before you can even catch a glimpse of it. They seem to be beings more magical than physical, for they are capable of teleportation and their bodies disintegrate upon death. By silhouette, they might appear deer-like, but covered in fur and feathers alike, with crystalline antlers. The Altmer capital city of Alinor, situated on the western coast, the Oleander coast, is the biggest city of the province. It has been the seat of Altmer kings and queens for thousands of years. The city is also called the Forest City due to its size, density, and a very specific architecture. Cloudrest, built atop Somerset's tallest peak, the Eton Nia, quite literally rests on clouds. Cloudrest's crest is a grey griffin on a blue background. Those fierce and proud creatures prefer to nest in the steep cliffs that surround the city. Because of the abundance of the mighty beasts waiting to be tamed, the Welkiner Griffin Knights have set their headquarters in Cloudrest. Lilandriel is a very respected city among the people of Somerset. The reason for it being the College of Sapiarchs, an institution dedicated to scholarship and magical pursuits. Every would-be king or queen of Alinor was expected to study under the Sapiarchs to become a competent ruler. Lilandriel is also home to the sect of Harmonious Masters, a group of mages dedicated to the magic of restoration and focused on bringing help to all people with their healing spells. The crest of the city is a crystal flask that has been found in this location. When examined by the Sapiarchs, they discovered a powerful enchantment. The flask is capable of absorbing magicka from any source. Shimmerine, the City of Lights. If you happen to visit it during the citywide celebration of Shimmerine Soree, you will know why it's called that. Like old Almeri settlements, Shimmerine is a port city. All those products and wealth coming in and out of aforementioned Skywatch usually go to Shimmerine and are transported by land to other towns and cities in the island. Why not simply sail from, let's say, Woodheart directly to Alinor? I tell you why. In the north it's the Sload, and in the south the Mormor. The waters surrounding the Blessed Isle are not safe. It does make more sense to travel by land as much as possible, where these two sea-bound races are not so formidable. All those ships dock in the port, all the exchange and trade contribute to Shimmerine's growing wealth, and it is represented on its crest, a compass. Dusk is a city on the southeastern coast of Somerset. Its most notable feature is the Tower of Dusk, a mighty keep built on a cliff pillar connected to the mainland by a narrow bridge. No one knows for sure who built this tower, but it was evidently used as a watchtower by the ancients, as they used the nearby grotto to host their fleets. Eventually, a village grew around the fort, in time growing to become a city in its own right. The city is named after the fortification, onto which, during sunset, the mountains cast shadow. Lastly, Sunhold, the sprawling moloch of a city, in the size second only to Alinor itself. It has the largest port of all Aldmeri cities, well capable of hosting the massive fleet belonging to Sunhold. The fleet is always at the ready, as the Mormor threat is looming over the city day and night. Sunhold crest, in line with its name, is a golden sun.